What's up, guys? This is Wade from Tables, Ladders, and Bumps, a pro wrestling podcast where we talk about WWE, AEW, New Japan, sometimes NXT, and sometimes indie events as well. But right now, we're on the road to WrestleMania, so we got a lot of stuff to cover there where we're going to talk about Royal Rumble winners, not main eventing for WrestleMania. We have Punk, Roman, and Seth, and Paul Heyman having a love story with CM Punk. The women's matches and their weird builds, as well as Cena and Cody Rhodes finally cutting promos on each other.
Mhm.
But I'm Wade. Here with me today is Pierre. Marlon is not here. He has a work meeting, and I'm sure he will be diligently watching this from his work meeting tomorrow. But while I have you guys here, why don't you hit a people's elbow on that subscribe button and the like button? And yeah, let's get into it. Uh, Pierre, did you want to start off with Punk, Roman, and Seth?
Yeah, we
Okay.
can kick off with that because that's from Friday. Um, I think we kind of knew that this was going to be a match anyway. It's no surprise that it was going to come to this. We saw it a long time ago, and like I say, the match still has to mean something, right? It's great to see that Punk finally gets his WrestleMania main event moment, and that's cool. You know, but is that does that really hurt? Does it hurt like the other triple threat match? Maybe the bill isn't as great for Bianca, Rhea, and Io, but those are three of the top women in your division, right? Whether it's just in-ring ability or just being hot. These are
Yeah.
the top three. And they're not in the main event. Last year, there wasn't a women's main event match. Uh, I think 39. Yeah, 39 wasn't a women's main event match because it was a tag team match night one, and then it was Roman and Cody night two. Same thing last year. Tag team match night one, Roman and Cody night two. You know?
Yeah, it was
Uh,
supposedly the co-main event with Charlotte and Rhea, but that's not really.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we go back to 38, which I can't really remember if there was a women's
Was
main
that
event
Sasha
match.
Banks and
Bianca?
Bianca, or was that the year before?
That might have been the year before, because that would have been COVID year kind of still, I think.
Yeah,
You know? Um,
because that was in Tampa Bay, right? When they went against each
yeah,
other.
yep. So go back to that, but I don't want to get too off track. I just wish that the women had more shine put on them and a better story and to get put into the spotlight a little bit more. But it is what it is. We here with Punk, Roman, and Cena. I mean Punk, Roman, and Seth. And the match can't just be a match of hate. So where does this go? You know, does Paul Heyman turn on Roman Reigns and join sides with Punk? Um, does Roman completely turn heel again, which might not even make sense, or does we get another something that's straight out of left field and Heyman sides with Seth Rollins? In
That
this,
I will come out and say that is not happening. If that happened, I'll legitimately be mad.
I think in his current feud right now, I've CM Punk has always been fire on the mic.
Mhm.
He's in rare form recently, but I've really liked Seth Rollins.
He's been
I've
good.
I've liked the over the topness, just his hatred towards everything. Um, Roman's been too cool about it, but Seth Rollins is really putting on the show, and I think he did in similar fashion last year during Road to WrestleMania time too.
I, I would say, gosh, in this feud, I almost think Seth has been the best, and I like Seth the least. Just
Hmm.
with like overall week to week. Because CM Punk tries to get a little too cute sometimes with his promos, and he's so
Hmm.
like pretentious sometimes, and he just like I don't. I personally don't like Seth like in the ring or on, but I have to admit, leading up to WrestleMania last year and this year, he's been really good. And like he's uh, like I don't know. I'm with you though. I don't think this should be a main event. There's no way in hell the women's match. I don't care how bad the build is for that. The build for this one isn't good either. Like it's not like this is like some you mean it's not like this is the tag match with Sami Zayn and KO versus the
Yeah,
Usos. Like that's a really well built out story that was you mean 6 months
yeah.
leading to it. This is a mishmashed thing where somehow Paul Heyman has the power to make something a main event. Like it doesn't
Yeah,
it makes no sense. So I'm totally with you on that. I think the women um gosh, I would say all three of those women Bianca's not even had a great year, but I would say overall she's probably had a better year than Roman Reigns. And this is a bad year for Bianca.
yeah.
Rhea's had a better I think Io's had a better year than any of those the guys in that match, in my opinion. So yeah, I don't know. I'm they need to make that match for a men's championship. If whoever really should be a number one contender match, realistically.
Yeah.
So whoever wins that should get a because realistically, those are all the top guys that aren't wrestling for a title.
Yeah. I almost kind of feel like I've been kind of saying someone's doing double duty that WrestleMania. One of those three guys are working both nights.
I
Uh,
don't.
I know it don't necessarily fit in the storyline, but Punk says, when I hear phrases like "best for business," and then he wanted to know if this match gets him closer to what he wants. You know, one of the things was the main event WrestleMania. All right, that's check, but that still isn't a favorite. So what is really the favorite? Is the favorite to win the main event of WrestleMania? And it's like, does he need? He doesn't need Paul Heyman to do that. Punk is capable of winning that match on his own. You know. Uh,
Maybe, but if Paul Heyman helps him win, that
yeah,
makes everything a bit more. Because he even said this isn't your favor. This doesn't
yeah,
count as a favor, right?
yeah. This isn't the favorite that it's owed to me.
Yeah.
You know.
I I don't know. I think they should have Paul Heyman help CM Punk like and turn on Roman. Because
Hmm.
Roman's still like you said, is Roman gonna turn heel again? He's been kind of a heel the whole time. Like he's still a dick. And there's been no remorse for anything he's done.
Oh,
There's zero things that make him a babyface other than that he was going against freaking Solo that everyone hates
yeah.
more. So other than that, like if you put him against Jacob Fatu right now, I think Jacob Fatu might get cheered more than like
I think
Jacob
Fatu.
Fatu would be the babyface, in my opinion.
I definitely think he can catch. He gets more cheers than Roman in that instance, just because like we've been seeing it though.
And the way
You
he
know.
wrestles is more
Yeah,
it's more exciting and like a
yeah.
babyface kind of
And
thing.
people want the carnage, and he
Yeah.
that's what he brings. They've been wanting that. Um, but yeah, man, I'm still anxious to see what's going to happen, how this really going to play out, and what more is in store for the three of them with this match. You know.
Yeah, it should be a number one contender thing. In my opinion, for the story to make the most sense, you need
Hmm.
Cena to beat Cody and then Punk to win this match and get to go against Cena like at a SummerSlam. Or I mean they could wait it out that long or just have it be a backlash. Or storyline wise, what's his name can leave. Uh um Cena leave and
Hmm.
Paul Heyman can make him defend his title. That could be the favor. that
Yeah,
like, and then that's a huge SummerSlam match.
yeah. And SummerSlam is 2 nights this year, so
Yeah.
that they could do it. But I said
So
we'll see what's
I
gonna
would be,
happen.
do you think that would make logical? I think that'd be a good storyline if, because then it's the whole best for like CM Punk's using those lines to tie him
Yeah.
to him, and then you have them go against each other.
I mean,
Uh,
you got the history. You got Elimination Chamber still, you know, between Punk and Cena, and then you just got the history in general between Punk and Cena.
yeah,
So with this
and
farewell tour, it made sense that Punk and Cena still cross paths again, in a bigger way.
the history of Rock and Punk
Yeah,
too.
that too.
So
Yeah.
I think that's the money match for SummerSlam, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, and long-term storytelling, like I've not had faith in Triple H recently. Like but like how he would normally write is that's the way they would tell the story. Like you can
Yeah,
kind of see it, and like nothing super crazy is gonna happen. Like leading up to that, it's like okay, but this is the match we want to see. I want to see one more time John Cena and CM Punk.
yeah,
So, um, but yeah, I don't know. That's not been a very good build.
yeah,
Like, what is
definitely
this
not.
for?
Nothing. It's hate. We hate
And
each
CM
other.
Punk doesn't even really hate
No,
either of them that much.
he doesn't. They're just in his way, pretty
Yeah.
much. But then I feel like this goes back to CM Punk. Was that the first night he had this promo back in with WWE, and he said like, "Yo, I'm here to make money, not
Yeah.
friends." So I feel that that is the possible heel turn to for Punk. You know, Be- I don't know if that comes into play night two somehow. If he wins this match, I don't know, man. I just feel like somehow it comes into play night two.
He helps
Yeah, but
Cena, but then that
he
makes no
helps
sense
you,
because then he can't go against Cena.
or he Cena fails. You
Ugh.
know, but that'd be a waste of Cena turning
That's
too.
such a waste of a heel turn if Cena loses.
Well, I mean, do you want to get into that now with Cody and
Sure,
Cena?
yeah, let's do that.
Um, we finally got the face to face. So we talk about the face to face and then see the possible outcome still with the match between the both of them. We finally got the face to face. And after the face to face, I felt like I was seeing everyone online kind of saying, and I flashed this offline, that John Cena cooked Cody Rhodes. He flamed them up. And when I look at it, I'm like,
It's pretty
no,
mutual. It's
yes.
pretty mutual burning. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we just been waiting for this and anticipating it for so long. It was still good. Don't get me wrong. It's still John Cena on the mic and doing his best out there. Uh, I think I might have been most surprised with Cody Rhodes. You know.
Cody, I thought Cody was good. I've seen some people complain about I thought it was pretty good overall, both of them. It
Hmm.
was a very staged, because it was like I say this thing, then you have the exact rebuttal that the
Yeah.
wording is perfect. Like it was a little bit too felt like a play almost,
Yeah.
but I thought compared to all the other ones,
Hmm.
it's because Cody's been kind of the only one doing. I mean, Cena would go out there and like ramble for
Yeah. It,
five
it,
minutes, but this was I thought it was pretty even on the burning. I don't if
yeah.
you think that Cena like eviscerated Cody and Cody got nothing in, I like you were not watching the thing or
Yeah.
you're like completely biased. So
What stood out to me once again is, and maybe it might just be the UK crowd, but you heard cheers for John Cena. You know,
yeah,
uh, and it was like as much as WWE and it could just be people just saying stuff like how WWE didn't want another cool heel, so that's why we didn't get a new look for John Cena, new music for John Cena. And that's John Cena saying this is what you get, because they were trying to keep him from being cool. But this is what people wanted though. People had wanted John Cena to turn heel for a long time, you know, and we always got glimpses of the heel speaking, right? And
Yeah,
when
he
he,
literally does promos like a heel because he's
yeah, you,
does the
but he just,
Charlotte Flair thing.
but he just was never, designated
Yeah,
past
as a
that.
baby face though, like
Yeah,
he goes scorched earth, which he didn't really. This was it was like a
this was a good
tennis
warm up.
match. I
Yeah,
mean, they're hitting it back and forth.
yeah. This was a good warm up back and forth between the both of them. Like I said, I felt like get to hearing the fans cheer for Cena. Like I said, when it comes to WrestleMania, this still could be that WrestleMania 18, Rock versus Hogan,
I
where
don't think it'll. I don't think it'll be that.
you don't
Uh,
think fans return?
they know because it not where Rock Hogan. It was like everyone was like because it was like everyone was for Hogan. Like maybe 90. It feels like when you listen to it, 90% are for Hogan.
Hmm.
And I could see at best 50-50. And I only think it sounded super loud is just because I would say in the UK was maybe 20% that were like absurdly obnoxiously loud. Cause like they're used to having to like cheer for Cena like over the top. Like they've been conditioned.
Yeah,
Like everyone doesn't like him, so I'm gonna have to scream his name is at the top of my lungs. But it may have been 70-30, but it sounded
hmm,
like to me it sounded like fewer people that were like loud but like screaming at the top of their lungs versus like most of the stadium.
yeah,
I would be shocked. But to go into your point, they need to do something with the story to make it that you can't root for Cena though.
yeah,
Unless you look like a real jabroni, like how I root for Gunther. So like, like I'm gonna be rooting for Gunther like a dick. But like they gotta make it that you look like an a-hole rooting for Cena, in my opinion.
yeah. No, I agree to that because things that are standing out to me now from Cena's first two promos is he came out and whether this is, breaking the fourth wall, pulling the curtain back, I'm not a baby face. I'm not a heel. I'm a human being. And so, yeah, in the story of wrestling, there always been people designated baby faces and designated as a heel because that's how you have always needed to tell the story,
Right.
right? To separate the two. But what if we get into an era of I'm not really a bad guy, right? You have people that are your favorites and you cheer for your favorites, and you have people that aren't your favorites and you don't cheer for them. But just because they're not your favorite doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad guy or they are a heel per se, right? So
I-
I say Drew McIntyre for a little bit over a year, he was tormented, right, by
Yeah.
CM Punk. You know, all he wanted to do was get to the top of the mountain, and he couldn't do that. You know, he didn't like, and Jeff Rollins is the same case too. I hated that CM Punk came back. He was talking bad about the company for 2 years, blah blah blah. He's a cancer. We shouldn't have him in the locker room. But everyone loves CM Punk, so we don't hear what Drew McIntyre is saying. We don't hear what Seth Rollins is saying. That doesn't make them heel. They just like, yo, this dude is bad. He's a piece of trash. We shouldn't have him here. Stop cheering for him, you know. And he keeps screwing me over, so I got to do whatever I can do to get him back. So in the case of Cena, in the last promo, he said, "Man, I tried to tell you when we was riding together that you needed to be authentic. You couldn't be phony. You took everything I was giving you, and look at you. You this isn't real. You know.
Yeah.
Um, and so I have to destroy that because you're not a real person. Like this is all fake. You know.
Yeah.
And even in the back and forth, Cena hasn't sworn or cussed really like Cody Rhodes has, which is different to me, you know?
But not cussing doesn't mean you're a good person. Because I know a lot of people that refuse to cuss that are terrible people, but act like
Yeah,
they're good, like Christian people. You know what I mean?
no, no, I get that. It just feels like in the instance of Cody Rhodes, who's supposed to be this QB1, He's so perfect, so pure that rarely have we really seen him get upset like that, right? But now you're, I don't know what the ratings are, but you're saying stuff that you usually couldn't be able to say, and he's the one that's leading that. When we thought about WWE coming to Netflix, we always thought about, man, who's gonna be on TV cursing the most? Was it gonna be CM Punk? Was it gonna be like LA Knight? I couldn't wait for LA Knight to be on Netflix. I
Yeah,
was
I
just like,
wish he
man,
would actually like do something. Yeah.
you know,
Does he
but
have a match?
not yet. No, he fought Braun Strowman last week.
No, I
So
mean for Mania.
no, nothing. Uh,
Dude, it's in like a week and a half. What the hell?
but Cody Rhodes has been that guy in this new era kind of wrestling. Being edgy, and I think that people don't want to see it yet. But John Cena is speaking it. He's saying like this guy is fake. He isn't what he says to be, what he claims to be. Um, that you shouldn't trust him, pretty much in essence.
Yeah. I mean, that's what every kind of heel tries to, because if you look at like John Cena, he's been fake literally the whole time.
Yeah.
Like if you think like everything he says about Cody, it's like, dog, you like never wear jean shorts in real life, like walking around. You know what I mean? And you were like actually not in the military, but you pretend you were. Like there's so many you like if you look at it, it's like who's more fake than John Cena? I don't think no one is, right? His brother was in the military, John Cena wasn't, right? To my knowledge. So, uh yeah, I mean that's the point of a heel though, is to be like calling the other person a hypocrite when you're like and like
Hmm.
complaining about them, and I think it's he needs to just do something ruthless though, because it's been over a month since he
Yeah. But I think like even still like the fans, I won't say it's a majority of fans because it obviously is not, right? There is a sector of fans that want to see Cody Rhodes' demise, and I think it's growing. I felt
well,
like
yeah, that's how it always is going to be if you have a baby face that's
for too
champion for
long.
a while.
So we get to the point now. So with that being said, whatever Cena could do to Cody, I think it's gonna get cheers, even more so.
I don't you
Because
could. Because even The
when
Rock, everyone liked The Rock last year in that, what
uh
was it, in Chicago, where he's like
yeah.
beating the hell out of Cody in the rain. Like no, people weren't cheering for that. Like all of us were like super into The Rock at that point. Even though he was a bad guy, I don't think it'll get cheered. Like there's gonna be like 10% of people who are like sickos like me who would cheer, but I don't think majority of fans are going to be cheering for Cody getting. I don't think he's to that point yet. If he's super Cody for a whole other year and doesn't lose the belt now, and like next year he's like at Mania and like heels beating him up, I think you're right. But I don't think he's. You could be
That
right
yeah,
though. I would be shocked though if he gets beat up by Cena and he's cheered, because yeah, I don't think he's at that point yet. That it's getting close though. Like
yeah,
he needs to actually lose soon. Because he's had it for about a year.
yeah. It will be a year in
Yeah.
WrestleMania. Yeah,
Or it's a year and like a week, right? Because
yeah,
WrestleMania is 2 weeks. So I think for a baby face, I think a year is as long as you could really have someone with a
yeah,
title. The heel, you can stretch it out to a
yeah.
year and a half, 2 years. I think you can, but a baby face, it's really hard to keep that like fire with them. But he
Hmm.
needs to get his ass beat like this next week for sure.
Friday, Friday.
Friday, Monday, like both days, he needs to get fatalitied. So yeah, I think what you were talking about, like with the no baby faces and heels thing. So Cody legit said the same thing when he was in AEW getting interviewed, and
Hmm.
AEW tried to kind of do that, and I think it hurt AEW for a while
Okay.
because they had a bunch of tweeners and it was a weird like vibe. Uh, all the time. But like, and to bring it back to like what you were talking about with Cena, like some people are just gonna cheer him. That's kind of what it was for CM Punk in AEW. Like some people would just hate him because he's fighting people backstage, and then some people like would cheer for him like he's, you mean, the Messiah. And it was like a interesting vibe at the events because it's just you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like it's like a competing crowd against each other.
Yeah,
So I think there's very few people that are like CM Punk and like Cena, where like you're gonna have because even when
yeah,
Cena
they're
was
like
a big,
polarizing, pretty much.
it was like they're very polarizing.
Yeah,
So um, I don't know, man. I you could be right, but you think he's getting beat up this week?
I I
He has
feel
to.
like yes. Um, they in Chicago Friday. I'm going to be there, and
Oh
I feel like
hell yeah.
last time I was there in Chicago and it was there, he got beat up. So I think I'm the good luck charm
Yeah,
to see
that
Cody get beat up. So and plus like we need something major to happen back in the States, right? They've been on the European tour the last couple of weeks. The energy's been crazy overseas. So you gotta have something, some big event once you come back, to the States.
yeah.
And
Well,
that
and
that has to be it.
honestly, the European shows were kind of whack.
The shows are whack
Yeah. The crowds
at
are
some point.
great,
Yeah,
but
it's the
they like
crowd,
the
yeah.
creative was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, we got in I'm sure you wanted to talk about Natalia and Maxine gonna be a tag team.
I can't wait.
Can't wait for that. Good Lord. I was like, what the? I'm like, if they get a Mania match against freaking Lyra and
And Bailey.
Bailey, and then you have a triple threat.
Oh yeah. With
Oh,
Liv and Raquel.
that's like so below Liv. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, while we talking about the women real quick, I before we forget, I wanted to talk about the Naomi promo
Yeah,
from SmackDown. I thought it was amazing. I'm so happy to see her in this way, like finally her character, and finally she has a character that has substance to it, you
right.
know,
Instead of
besides
just
just being
glowing.
happy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And fist pumping and dancing, And and it was just like a twisted like promo, the twisted like tear, it's like a psychopath. Like, man, like I'm here for it. I don't know what the match is gonna look like, but the character work is great right now, and I love it.
I no, I like Naomi as like a person, and
Hmm.
then she's like one of the hottest people on the roster too. But the no, I've been impressed because I used to watch like freaking divas or whatever, and like I remember there was like a when she was turning heel for the first time, she's like
Uh-huh.
having trouble with like turning heel. So I've been and I don't know if that's just storyline for divas or whatever, but it she seems like such genuinely a nice person.
Hmm.
I've been like uh pleasantly surprised with her heel work.
Yeah,
Like I think yeah, that promo was really good. Um like but I honestly I'm like shocked because
yeah.
I was like pumped for the heel turn, but I'm like, oh, how good is it gonna be? Because she just seems like so, you mean, sweet of a person
Yeah,
and like just genuinely nice person. So she's shown a lot of depth with this that I didn't know that she had. And I think that increases her longevity because I've not really enjoyed her matches so much. I just
hmm.
think her moveset's kind of like the rear view. There's no way that should like actually hurt. Like there's just like a lot of like stuff that she does. I'm like, I don't like I've done, you mean, been in the ring and pro wrestling stuff. Like that would be like the least painful move. Like,
But have you ever tricked on someone's back before, though? No.
no, yeah. So yeah,
That thing on his
I've
back.
not done that. So yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, but I she was very impressive with that promo, and I think overall the heel turn's been good.
Yeah, I just hope that there's more in store for her. That this doesn't just fizzle out. Creatively or whatever. I mean,
Is
we
that
know
match happening at
TLB.
Mania?
I don't think she have a match yet. So I mean, I guess they would have to put her in J Mania. I
I'd
don't
rather
know.
have that than an LA Knight match at this point. Who does he go against?
I think it's a multi-man match.
Oh, fuck.
Honestly, I
Another
think.
one?
Yep. I think.
Is
I
it
think
gonna be freaking
this
18 multi-man match?
yep. This is gonna be that Mania. Where you're gonna have a multi tag team match.
I'm
You're
fine
gonna
with those. That's like I've just accepted that's part of WrestleMania. Like, are they gonna have a ladder match? They gotta have one.
yeah.
Is this a
We got
ladder?
no. It probably will be. We got two triple threat matches already, right?
Oh,
Um,
Intercontinental will be the ladder match, I bet.
I don't know. I can see the tag team match being that. Well, no, because there's only one belt at stake. Last time it was both belts, both set of belts. Um, what? Who else? We don't have a match for the women's U.S. title. We don't have a match for the women's IC title.
Oh yeah, Piper hasn't turned on Chelsea yet.
No.
Does
And
Chelsea
then
have
so
anyone to go against other than
nope.
Piper?
Or Meechin again.
Oh my God, there's no what God. They wrestle like 8 times in a year, all on TV.
Yeah. Um. So we will have to get LA Knight, Braun Strowman, Jacob Fatu in a
Oh,
match.
I
I
forgot
think.
about Jacob. It should be Jacob at LA Knight, and Jacob should win.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Braun
that's what it is.
Strowman, dude, he's so slow now.
But because it was DQ last week.
I guess.
It was interference. So that's
I
why.
get that that's what they're gonna do. I just
Yeah.
don't want it to happen. Like
Yeah.
they keep doing these DQs to make, oh, well, guess we got to throw this person in the match. It's like, no, you don't. Like the women's match, I get. Like whatever. That one's fine. You had a special guest referee. I don't like the story that much, but like
She
whatever.
did her job. She did her job. Got kicked in the face. Then she got drop kicked, and then she got punched in the face. And so instead of just disqualifying Rhea Ripley, she said, "You know what? Both of you guys are DQ. I'm done with this."
None of them were on purpose, though. Oh, I guess Rhea did hit her on purpose one time, but
Yeah.
like Io didn't hit her on purpose. She like was
No,
in the way. I'm like, why are you mad at Io? Like she didn't do anything.
she's
Like
just
it's your
tired of
fault
it.
for being in the way.
She's
Like
just
a
tired
good
of
ref would
everything.
be at move out of the way. Yeah, I don't. Oh,
And, and why, when you put on the stripes, that you just instantly become weaker? You can't take a punch or a kick. Now you
yeah,
knocked
that
out
was.
for
I think that's a
22.
rule. Like a rule, if you have stripes on your, you automatically become a wuss.
It's kryptonite. Um, I don't know. And then, well, while we're talking about them real quick, have you heard the thing about the European crowd being racist?
So they're saying, oh, you mean only against black people then? Because they like Io more than Rhea.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Rhea's white though, and they liked Io more than Rhea.
No, but racist towards black people.
I mean, I don't. I just think her character is kind of more of the dickhead out of the. Well,
Hmm.
Rhea and her are technically kind of heels, in my opinion, and
Okay.
Io is the one baby face. Like in this, like she's punched people, but it's because they deserve it, and they've been like pie facing her, and she's a champion. Because like Bianca's done some, her and Rhea have both done heelish things, in my opinion, in this build and been like
Hmm.
whiny and annoying. And Io, like, if Rhea was getting cheered over Io, I would agree. But like, I mean, I guess maybe if it's particularly against, like you're saying, particularly against black people, but if it's like they just want white people, I don't think they would have been cheering for Io over Rhea.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's where I think that logic is slightly because if it was that racist, I don't think they'd want Io
Go into.
to win too. That's in my opinion. But um
Because like even with like, because I heard the thing too, like that Bianca's kind of been doing heel tactics, but when I kind of think about it, what has she really done that was heel? Like she won Elimination Chamber, which is a fact. She gets a match at WrestleMania. She didn't interfere in the original match between Rhea and EO. She was down there minding her business. Rhea came down there and stepped to her, and pushed
She's been
her.
a heel uh to EO though, because she's been pie facing EO.
I I thought I get it, but I feel like in the heat, that's like heat in the moment. Like we in the heat of the
I
moment.
know, but like a
It's
babyface
like, yo,
wouldn't do
why are
that.
you here? Get out
Yeah,
of here. This
like
is
you're,
between
but
me and
she's
her.
the champion. She deserves to be there.
She does,
Like,
but this is a conversation that me and her we're having a back and forth right now. This doesn't
yeah, I
involve
don't
you. You
like.
just sit
I
right
feel
there.
like the last 2 weeks, I think I wouldn't say full heel. Like, I'm just saying heelish. Like, she's
Yeah.
been, because before, and I like Bianca's character better with
Hmm.
like some edge, because before she was like Jane Cena. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like, well, it's like, okay, like this is a bit annoying. So I actually, gosh, what was I can't remember what week it was, but she came in with like the grills in, like on the side and stuff,
That was
and was like, was that 2 weeks ago?
yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
But she
Yep.
was being way more confrontational overall.
Yeah.
But I would say, I wouldn't say she is a heel. I would say heel, like her and Rhea are heelish.
I think Riz been more of a heel,
I agree,
actually.
though. I agree.
Yeah.
Rhea's been worse. Like Rhea's been way more like annoying about it.
Yeah.
So but I think both are like I think Io's the only person that like you could say is like a baby face in the
Yeah.
like that hasn't done anything. But yeah, I don't think Bianca. Um, yeah, because Rhea's a whole excuse is stupid.
Yeah.
Like you
And
were.
you picked up the contract and signed it. And said, I'm in the match now.
Oh, well, that's even dumber. But I mean, oh, you were cheering for Beyond like, and we
You
talked about this. I'm like, I could see why someone would be upset, but like, not where you're talking about it 3 weeks later. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe you would cheer for someone. Like, okay, like that's something you could be upset about like in the moment, but like when you have time to think about it 3 weeks later, like
Yeah.
you gotta freaking chill. Like she's taking it too far now. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I feel like the part of the thing is EO's more popular
Hmm.
overseas than in America. Because even in Puerto Rico,
Yeah. Yes.
she was like getting cheered way more than Bianca
And she was
Backlash
a
that
heel.
year.
Yeah. And she was a heel at the time.
Yeah. So I think she's just um I don't know. I think people just want EO to do well.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I think Bianca and Rhea are like kind of being obnoxious. So I don't want either one to win.
Yeah. I think Eel wins. I hope
I
Eel wins.
I hope so
Yeah.
because
I think she
she's earned
deserves the
it.
moment. Yeah.
So
Uh, so that's another WrestleMania match. We had two more WrestleMania matches that are people have been talking about that are surprised or there's some type of dispute or disagreement that that they're not the main event, right? How is the Royal Rumble winner? How did they not main event WrestleMania? And that's kind of been the thing. And when I see it, I'm like, I'm okay with that, right? Not
yeah, I
even
see.
before,
I certainly am okay with it.
even before we even get into the actual matchups, right? I'm okay with them not main eventing WrestleMania only because I always kind of thought there was like an underlying thing that you get a title match at WrestleMania, right? I didn't,
There's
and
it,
it
the
used to
thing
be a
is
thing
a
where
title match. It's not ever. It's inferred that you get a main event, and people say it, but it's
yeah,
never been set in stone that you get a main event.
and I think it just used to be just like the title held so much weight and so much prestige that it had to be the main event, right? Because that's how everything was always kind of built around. Like you never would have gotten a World Heavyweight Championship match in the middle of the card or be in the beginning of the card. It would have always ended the show, you know. in previous years. So I think it's just been a history of that, which led people to believe like, oh, well, if it's for the world title or the W Undisputed title, that it has to main event. It's like we talked about earlier off camera, like it's 50-50. You know, like last year
Yeah,
Cody main evented last year and the year before, but it was also a different caliber type of match, right? With two different caliber type of
it's
stars.
the
Like
match. Yeah, it's the match that everyone's looking forward to.
it had the best story both years in a row. The best build both years in a row. So why wouldn't it have been? You know, you go
Well,
back to the
they almost even went against that last year and screwed Cody over completely, where he was gonna like have to go like so he wasn't even gonna be a main event, I don't
yeah.
think. So I don't. So do you? I guess because I've heard and we were kind of talking in our group thing like, are they screwing over Jey Uso in general right now with this build, or do you think they're kind of setting it up how it should be?
So I hate to just put a spotlight on Jay because I feel like this kind of, and not just with our part, you know, I think it's kind of been a sentiment overall with Jey Uso. Like it's a magnifying glass on Jey Uso in
Comes with the
directly, you
territory
know.
of winning the Rumble though,
Yeah.
and your
Um
name is main event.
yeah, but that was the main event of Royal Rumble, right? The Royal Rumble man is the main event.
I mean, sure, like it's
It was.
yeah, I mean that's
It was.
stretching it a bit so.
And then didn't he win the IC title in the main event of Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, but a Monday Night Raw, he's not main eventing
Russ. So we
like
put it to
PLEs.
so that's different then. So we got to put it to main event PLE Jey Uso.
It's main eventing sometimes on Raw, not very often, and like almost never on PLEs. The like one PLE I'll say he actually main evented was SummerSlam, and that one was
Oh, Roman.
ass. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't main event yet with the Usos yet, so he was still part of the Usos. At WrestleMania the other year. Yeah, sir. But anyway, so I think there's been a magnifying glass put on Jey Uso, and has he had some mistakes and stuff like that? Yeah, I don't want it to feel like well now it's like dog pile, right? Now we're just dog piles on Jay, because that's kind of like what the things to do, you know.
People did it with Priest
Creatively,
too.
yeah, and but like creatively, like the story died down, you know, like it kind of fell off for a couple weeks, you know. Um, I think in the beginning when he put and Gunther was like, you know, you're gonna have like 10 weeks of hell. I think we kind of was looking forward to that, you know,
Yeah, I was pumped about it, but
and
he did
then
give him 10 weeks of hell.
yeah, it didn't really play out that way, and then like it just felt like it just died down. So
10
and
weeks is long to like have permanent heat though.
exactly, you know
Yeah.
that too. I think I hate that the War Rumble winner picks their people so early now. You know, like it should have been a back and forth. You could have built a little bit more, but both sides created something a little more to eliminate this downtime, right? Or to really expose the storyline or cracks in his game or whatever, you know, and in his abilities.
They
Uh,
teased it more with Bailey last year, and I thought that was better. It was
yeah,
like
it
two or
was.
3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, even though we knew, but it still
Yeah,
it,
we all knew she
yeah,
was going to go against Io, but I thought some people even
it's playing out
complained
a
they
little
didn't
better.
tease it long enough. I thought it was
Yeah.
long enough. But they could have done it in a week or something longer, but um
But so even though like the focus on when you look at that storyline or that headline, all the World Rumble winner isn't main eventing WrestleMania, is really just focused on, and I always see is a picture of Jey Uso, right? Probably because of the nickname, because of the moniker, but
yeah,
also,
I mean, I think it's a joke to me because he's not really he's like a mid-card guy, realistically. That's like he's a mid-card guy that's super over, and he has a stupid nickname that's main event. He's not a main event person. And I think
but
that's part
also,
of the charm with him is that he shouldn't be a main event guy, but he's like basically uses the fighting spirit to somehow win matches he shouldn't win.
Hmm.
And like he's like kind of a what's it called? Where like the audience is like him. You know what I mean? He's not the most talented, he's not the
He's
best at
relatable,
anything.
he's approachable, he's
Yeah.
touchable in a sense, underdog type of story. But I was
Very
also
likable
saying,
person. Yeah.
yeah, but I also saying you still have Charlotte Flair over there, who also won the Royal Rumble. So I was saying how all the light get focused on Jay, but what about Charlotte, who also won the Royal Rumble and is also not main eventing WrestleMania?
They've only had what, two women main events for WrestleMania?
I think so. It was that one
So
that was in with Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda, and then Sasha and
Bianca,
yeah,
Bianca.
Bianca. Yeah.
Um, I th I think that's the reason why they're not bringing it up with Charlotte because it's like we're more if recency bias is part of it with the Cody thing. Like it's been 2 years in a row. Like I would say it's probably a little bit higher than 50-50 maybe, but it's like 60-40. I would say if you win the Royal Rumble, maybe. I would have to go back and look. But I
Yeah.
know I could think of individual people who like Shinsuke, Alberto Del
Yep.
Rio. Like I can think of
Asuka.
people off the like yeah, I could think of people off the top of my head who won the Rumble and didn't main event. So it's not like the most rare thing ever.
Yeah.
But
Do you have a problem with it?
no, I think they should do the best. I have more of a problem with CM Punk and that match main eventing
Hmm.
than like Jay not main eventing because I don't think I like Gunther and Gunther's awesome. If they had Gunther versus you know who I'm gonna say Ilya Dragunov, like that's a freaking sick match. And I think they would actually be able to tell a really good story because they have so much history
Hmm.
and they're both weird. I think that would be a cool. I think people would actually get into that more than this Jay and Gunther match. Even though Jay's so over, it's kind of like it's a weird vibe to me. And even
Yeah.
the Roman Seth Punk thing, that's not really main event worthy either. I feel like most people are like, I guess that's the main event. I don't think it should be. I don't.
I think we just write off a star power from them. That's what it is. It's
Yeah.
not. I think your best stories. I think you might be about to say that, but the best stories should kind of be the main event. You
The
know?
the issue is there's so many ass stories right now.
Yeah.
I think is the main thing. So I don't really if they made it, I guess my issue is if they did Gunther and Jay as the main event, I'd feel like for sure Jay's winning. And I don't think he's earned like he can whatever if he wins the title and has it for a few months, whatever. But I don't feel like I feel like his this lead up, he's under the microscope, which you're gonna be as the champion. I don't think he's really earned winning like at WrestleMania versus like Gunther, who's like never like the dude's flawless. He's good. Like
Hmm.
his promos are always good. Like his matches are like everything. They're kind of opposites. You know what I mean? To me.
So real quick. So with that being said, though, I feel like it's safe to say, and I mean nothing's always guaranteed because injuries or whatever can happen. Is it too far to say that Gunther would be here again next year,
He should
WrestleMania?
be. He should
You
be.
know that is is more possible to believe that Gunther will
Then
hit
Jay.
a main event. Yeah.
Yeah, because I
So
think Jay's going back to the tag team.
so it's like, well, if you want to say lightning in a bottle, we're cashing in now because we know that we have Gunther, and we know that Gunther can get back here multiple years from now.
Yeah, I guess they could tell the story of him, and that they just did this thing with Sammy. So I don't want to see the same exact story
Hmm.
where like then you mean Jay somehow uses his moxie and like the power of the fans and like us yeeting during the match. Like just the because I know he's gonna do the yeet thing in the middle of and it's gonna freaking piss me off every time when it's like you're going against like Ivan Drago. You know what I mean? And it's like there's no way Rocky's not yeeting in the middle of the match, the boxing match. So that's gonna take me out of this match completely. But I think the other thing is too, Jay already had his moment. Winning the Royal Rumble, like and beating John Cena, like that's a freaking big deal.
Yeah,
And I would say that's almost unless he was winning in the main event, but since he's not in the main event, I think him winning that the Royal Rumble is a bigger deal than him winning a random, you mean title match at Mania. But that's just my opinion. I think that winning the Rumble is like huge. There's
hmm.
only what 40 of like maybe less. There's probably 30s in the 30s, right?
What?
Of Royal Rumbles, right?
You mean like 30? No, like 30 winners?
Yeah, because they didn't have it for the first. Did they have it? When did they start doing it that it goes to WrestleMania? Because I
Oh
feel like it was
yeah.
after WrestleMania, right?
No, it was used to be before Mania, but the first couple of times used to be like I
It
know
was
Flair
just
won.
it was just a match. It wasn't for
Yeah, I think yeah, but I think a couple of times the title was on the line in the match.
okay,
Yeah, 'cause I know Flair won the title one time
from
from the
that.
Royal Rumble. Yeah,
But yeah, it wasn't like a so there's been at most where it like leads to WrestleMania, like
yeah,
we'll say 40 winners, but there's probably less, I think.
yeah,
That like number of like world champions, there's like you mean 80 or 90, maybe 100.
yeah.
Just because there's like random title changes. I feel like that winning the Rumble is like a huge deal to me. That's pretty um but I could be wrong. I just feel like he's gotten that moment this year, so I don't feel like it's owed to him. Like the fans got him winning the Intercontinental and
Royal
him
Rumble.
winning the Royal Rumble. That's a freaking good year
Yeah,
for someone that is a known as a tag wrestler, in my
yeah.
opinion. So, but if he, I'll be pissed. But I'm not gonna like lose sleep over it. I'll be like perturbed just because I think Gunther's such a good pro wrestler in every way that having him lose the same stupid way at
WrestleMania
WrestleMania 2 years
back
in a
to back.
row is like pretty annoying.
But I also feel like this sets up Gunther for something massive though. If he does lose, so we were talking about people that need a character change, right? I won't say necessarily Gunther needs a character change because his character work is great.
Yeah.
Um, I I kind of started to fall off of Gunther after he lost to Cody Rhodes because I felt the character
It was
went
a
into a different
weird
direction.
thing. They should have actually extended the questioning himself longer, I think.
Yeah,
It
because he
was
never really
weird, but
came out.
it was like a month.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
never really came out of that. He had a
Yeah.
triple threat
It made no
versus
sense. It was stupid. Yeah.
Finn and Priest, and then now he's back. So I want the Gunther that I saw Monday, right? That type of
Oh
guy.
yeah. That was
Uh,
awesome.
so if he loses as Mania, I feel like that allows him to be that guy, right? I mean, and he could be that guy now without that, but he's cocky, and your heel should be cocky, and that's one of the traits. But every time he gets cocky, he loses, right? I want him to be cocky and to be a jerk and be all these things, but just be this dominant force, like he kind of was as the title champion. He was just
Yeah, he was just
he was
dominant. You could have
yeah,
that's why I think you can have him win and just keep
change the character.
yeah,
Just
stay with the character and then
yeah.
Cody loses this, then maybe him and Cody go again.
Hmm.
I wouldn't mind if they start having a rivalry. Uh
I would like for him to lose honestly, and for him to beat like Cody. I feel like there should be
or
a
beat
Cody Rhodes
Cena.
versus.
I
Well,
would
I
love to
mean,
see him chop the shit out of Cena.
but Cena had to be face though for me
Nah, he doesn't.
because
You could have Gunther be situational babyface.
no, I want him as heel though. I want him as heel to crush the spirits of people.
It'll be well.
that's because I want to start a monster heel with
I
Gunther.
mean, I would honestly be fine if it's like 50-50 people rooting for Gunther, people rooting for Cena, and he's just a freaking fatalitying Cena. So I want to see him. You know what I really want to see? Number one match, him and CM Punk.
I think that's happening. They've been doing a lot of like house shows and stuff together. So
Dude,
I think that's
that'd be
happening.
a CM Punk and Gunther would be that's like top tier match, I
Hmm.
think. Because I can't think of who else in the roster do you really other than like our boy Dragunov or you mean um
For sure.
Karrion Cross. You mean
Oh,
no, I was kidding about Karrion Cross, but I mean I would be here for it. Freaking Jacob Fatu?
what against Gunther?
Yeah.
That'd be sick. No, I'm no, back to Karrion Cross. Like,
Karrion Cross I think would be sick.
yeah,
Cause him doing the weird stuff trying to mess with Gunther and Gunther just being like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy would be kind of awesome.
because that would have been perfect when Gunther was crashing himself, right?
Yeah.
Karrion Cross to pop up. And while we're on the theme of Karrion Cross, he should pop up now with Jey Uso.
Yeah.
If we trying to add to the story, Karrion Cross is a great addition to that story. You know, the devil on the shoulder that's just kind of just talking to him, and just saying stuff to him that he can't do it. The way Karrion Cross is the puppet master that way. Um,
I
and
like
you,
that he
you
wrestles like no matches, but has stuff on every single show.
yeah, like, and you get great use out of him again. You put him one step closer to the World Heavyweight Championship that way, in proximity of it. Because
I just thought
I think,
I just thought of freaking
like I
El,
said before, man, Jay being World Heavyweight Champion allows people like Chad Gable,
El
Sami
Grande
Zayn again.
Americano. Like, dude,
That
I
uh,
kind of want to see Jack Gable's El Grande Americano with Gunther. Like Gunther, like it's like I just want to see that dynamic of Chad Gable trying to like play off being a freaking random luchador with him. But I, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Gunther is just he's kind of someone there's a lot of sick matches like Penta. I
hmm
kind of want to see that match. Gunther and Penta.
yeah,
Braun Breaker.
yeah.
Um, I mean, he's just like I feel like he's the best wrestler on the roster. So like when I think of like random people, it's like who do I want to see wrestle against Gunther? Like I'm trying to because who else do you really like fantasy book that much?
No one really. At least not on Raw, really, right? Um, he has a great style that matches well with everyone else.
Yeah,
A great pace of things. Like because you can see him with Dragunov, I can see him with Pete Dunne, you know, and those would be great matches. They'd be hard hitting matches. Him and Chad Gable, again, which
those matches were awesome.
yeah, still, bummed that didn't play out like it should have played out at WrestleMania between the two of them. Um, no, I think it's a lot of great things that come with Gunther against other people. Um, but like I said, I just want him as this monster just heel that is just crushing the spirits of people.
Yeah, I just feel like him losing. Oops, sorry. Um,
Right?
him losing to Jay is like loses a lot of mystique in my opinion. Like
But
losing
this
to
does
Sammy's,
to go back.
yeah, yeah, you're right. So it makes you go back to basics.
Yeah.
Because he's not even with what's his name in Imperium anymore.
Nope.
They like split them off completely.
Yeah. And I'm kind of disappointed in that too because I thought we were gonna get Ludwig and Pete Dunne together, right, for a little bit because they was kept having stuff with
Yeah,
Penta. And I thought we were gonna set up Penta and Ray Phoenix together against Ludwig
they're
Kaiser and
separate apparently.
yeah, Ray Phoenix. He's I'm gonna see him Friday at SmackDown.
Who's he wrestling?
Don't know yet.
Chad Gable? I don't know. Yeah.
Probably the Miz.
Oh God.
It's probably the
It's like
Miz.
literally the freaking. I like the Miz, but like of all freaking people to like give a freaking. Oh my God.
It's probably the Miz. If
Oh,
it's
Santos Escobar. It'll be Santos Escobar.
yeah, I was gonna say yeah, Santos or the Miz, but I'm leaning more to the Miz.
Oh, is there like evidence for the Miz, or like are you just saying this to make me upset?
I need to put this is probably this is my 10 for Ray Phoenix versus the Miz Friday night SmackDown. Book it
Oh God. I would be so annoyed. I cannot
because
think of someone I'd want to watch him wrestle less.
yeah, it'd be a better match with him and Santos, but the Miz would get more heat than Santos because that's what the Miz does.
I mean, I guess, but I also want someone who could be like a good base for him to do cool lucha stuff. So that's where like, have you seen Phoenix wrestle before?
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
have yeah.
I just don't see how any like the Miz is gonna be
Well,
uh
I mean, look at Penta in WWE right now. He's a way watered down version than what I've seen before.
yeah, I mean he's lost a lot of athleticism though
Yeah,
too. So I think it's like a because when he's tried to go ham, there's been a lot of miscalculations a little bit. Like
yeah,
Ray Phoenix is he's significantly better than like Penta right now, in my opinion. Uh, because like Penta 5 years ago, like when he was first in AEW and like stuff, was freaking nuts. But he's like, I mean, he's just you put your body through a lot. Like
yeah.
he's a bit older, but dude, Ray Phoenix versus The Miz, man, I'd be so annoyed. I'm like trying to think though, like who does he go against? Like it's
Oh
Santos.
no, if it's not the Miz, it's Carmelo Hayes.
Oh, I'd like that match.
It's one of the two. That's what I'm going. It's one of
Andrade, you could do Andrade, but they don't want Andrade doesn't like losing, so that's Carmelo Hayes to go against him and freaking
yeah,
pump his ass off for him.
yeah. It's one of the two. So that's what I'm going. It's Miz or Carmelo Hayes.
I bet you it's okay. I think it's Carmelo Hayes now because he talks so much crap. Like I could see him
Yeah,
talk himself into that match. All right, yeah, that match should be good if it's Carmelo Hayes. Miz, they'd have to do a squash if it's the Miz.
yeah.
All right, you have anything else?
No man, that's all I got. Just can't wait to see the Miz versus. Um,
I swear to God, man. All right, guys. Let us know what you thought about the episode in the comments below. Are you excited for Miz
the Miz
versus Ray
Ray Phoenix.
Phoenix Friday? Uh, are you excited for Punk, Roman, and Seth? And I forgot to mention, CM Punk talk crap on the Beatles. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yeah,
He said like F
I'm here for
Sergeant Pepper. So there's like a 99% chance Seth is dressed up as Sergeant Pepper's
that.
for WrestleMania, I think. Like so are you excited for Seth Rollins' Sergeant Pepper's outfit? Because I think that's gonna be sick. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Peace.
Peace.